7th of October, Rabbi Moore, Parsha Hashavua with Rashi.
No, 1 second. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, Rabbi.
Yes, we can.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. Just 1 second.
I think Hillel said that, right?
Okay, let's go. Let's see, where's the... Let's see. Can you hear me better now?
Yes. You're louder now.
Yeah, somebody else was using the computer and turned the volume down. Okay, let's go. We're going to start with Vzos Habracha. Okay.
Sounds good.
Start off with the Kohen.
Okay, it says Vzos Habracha Asher Beirach. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Moshe Ish Halokim B'nei Yisrael Lifnei Moto. And this is the blessing, bracha, which Moshe, the man of Hashem, blessed the children of Israel before his death. Okay, Rashi. Rashi has on the whole pasuk, it looks like Zeda bracha to lifnei moto. Okay, samuk lemitato. So right before his death, she'im lo akshav ematai. So for if not now, when? Which sounds like Pirkei Avot.
No, so what Rashi's saying, when it says Lifnei Moshe, it means immediately prior to his death. Okay?
So,
okay.
Wasn't he on a mountain when he died, though?
He went up. That's in the end of last week's Parsha, because we told him to go up to the mountain.
Okay, so immediately. So he blessed the people right before he went up to his death. Okay.
Right. Okay. Pasuk base. Lou.
Vayomar Hashem mi
You sound very loud.
Sinai. Ba v'zarach mi seir lamo hofia me har haran v'ata me rivavos kodesh me no Eish das lamo. So he said, Hashem came from Sinai and he shone forth to them from Seir. He appeared from Mount Paran, and he came with some of the myriads of the holy,
myriads of holiness, of the holy ones, let's say.
of the holy ones, from his right hand. He presented a fire of law to them.
Right.
Rashi says,
There's a lot of Rashi here.
Vayomer Hashem misinai ba.
Vayomar Hashem Sinai Bo. It's not Hashem. You look in the Parsha. It says Vayomar. He said.
Pesach Tehillah B'shivcho Shel Makom. He first began with praise of Hashem.
Right.
V'akar.
No, Rashi's bothered by the fact. He says that this is the blessing which Moshe Rabbeinu blessed the Jewish people. Okay?
Right.
Now, and then he starts speaking about something else. There's no blessings of the people here. So Rashi says, before he gave the blessing, he gave first praise to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Right. V'achar and after that, Pasach b'tzarchem shel Yisrael. He began with the needs of Israel.
Right, which means as we're going to see, the individual blessings to each tribe.
Right.
Okay.
Uva shevach she pasach bo. And in the praise with which he commenced,
right,
yesh bo hazekaras zuchus liYisrael. There is mention of the praise of Israel. V'chol zeh derech ritzui hu. And all of this is in the way of engendering goodwill. Klomar, as if to say, Kedai Haim Elu. These are worthy. Shetachul Alehem Baracha. To have blessing take effect upon them.
Yeah, okay. The blessing should rest, right? You should. Actually, that's quite a good translation. Means that it should take effect. Okay.
What is shetachul?
Means that it should rest. Let me see how I translated it. Just 1 second. Vzos. Ugh. Okay. Vzos. Yeah, I just said these people are worthy that the blessing should rest upon them. Okay, fine. Okay.
Sinai ba yatsa likrasam.
Means Rashi's got to say, what do you mean? Hashem came from Sinai. What do you mean? The giving of the Torah was at Sinai. So why is Hashem coming from Sinai? So Rashi says,
He went out towards them, meaning Hashem went out towards them. Kisheba'u lehis yatsev b'sachtis hahar. When they came to stand at the bottom of the mountain, Kechasan hayotze, like a bridegroom who goes out, lehakbil pnei chala, to greet the face of the bride, to greet the bride.
yes, that's how you say it in the Lashon HaKodesh.
Right.
The kabel ponav means to meet.
To meet the bride.
Yeah.
Shneimar, as it says, likras ha-Elokim, towards God.
They went out to meet God, right? Towards God means melamed sheyotza kenegdo. Whenever you have likras, right, to meet, means that each side is coming to meet the other. Right? Meaning, if I come to your house, I'm not coming likroscha. You wouldn't use that terminology. I'm coming to your house. If I'm coming likroscha means you're coming towards me and I'm coming towards you. So that's the implication over here.
V'zarach me seir lamo. She pasach livnei Esav. He proposed to the children of Esav, sheyikablu es haTorah, that they should accept the Torah, v'lo ratzu, but they didn't want to.
Yeah.
Ophia.
So what does that mean? V'zorach mi seir lomer. HaKadosh Baruch Hu came from Seir. So Rashi says, yes, he did. Because before he offered it to the Jewish people, he offered it first to Seir.
Right.
Ophia
Lahem. He appeared to them. Mehar Paran, from Mount Paran. Shehalach Sham, that he went there. Ufaran ufasach livnei Yishmael, to propose to the children of Yishmael, sheyikabluha, that they accept it, below ratsu, but they didn't want to. V'ata Israel, and then he came to Israel.
Right. Now, okay, so
Maybe,
Okay, so now, so Rashi's pointing out at this point, you've got two different uses of the letter mem. When it says Vayemer Hashem mi Sinai ba, means he came from Sinai. Azorach mi Seir Lomoi, and he shone from Seir to them. Hoifia mei har Paran means from Paran. Va'asa mei river Vos Kodesh. So here, mei river Vos Kodesh doesn't mean from the myriads of the holy ones. It means with some. This is what Rashi is going to point out. But also, Le Yisrael, he came to Israel. Okay, and now Rashi says, he's now going to explain what Meriva Vos Kodesh means.
the imo, and with him,
Right.
Miktsas Rivavos Malave,
Malachei. Malachei.
Malachei Kodesh. Part of the many angels that are holy, the many holy angels.
Right.
Well,
So Rashi, because the passage just says he came with some of the myriads of holy ones, Kodesh. So Rashi fills you in and it says, what does Kodesh mean? Means Malachei Kodesh.
right,
Holy,
right.
so that's what Rashi fills in over here.
Them. Velo Rubam, not even most of them.
Right.
Velo Kiderech Basar Vadam. This is not like the way of, excuse me. This is not like the way of people. They shemar kol kavod ashro v'sif arto, who display all the glory of their wealth and splendor biyom chupatso, on the day of their wedding.
Right. It's like you have someone's making a chasna, right? So he makes a big shebang. Okay, wants to show all his friends and everything. Wants to say what he's worth or what he's not worth.
Excuse me a second.
Okay.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Okay, so that's Kodesh Baruch Hu came with some of the myriads of angels. Okay, Meir, let's carry on. Eish dos.
Okay, Ashtat, which is a fire of law.
Right.
Okay, Shahaita Ketuva Me'az Lefanav. So it was written before him. Ke'esh Shechora Agabe Eish Levana. In a fire that is black on a white fire. Okay. Natan lahem beluchot, he gave it to them on the tablets. Katav yad yamino, it was written with his right hand. Davar acher, another interpretation. Eshtat ketargumo. Oh, this is a fire of law as the Targum teaches it. She'nitna lahem mitoch ha'esh. Oh, it was given to them from within the fire. Wow.
Yeah. Means that the Torah existed already before even when the world was created. The Torah was like the blueprint of the world.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Rashi's pointing out over here. That's what it means, Eish dos. That's what I say. Shoyse ksuva me'aza fana be'eish. Shchoira aga be'eish levona. It was written in black fire over on top of white fire. Okay? Nosan lehem beluchos ksav yad yamino. That Torah he gave to them in on tablets, right? On the Shnei Luchos Habris, ksav yad yamino, which was written with the Kaviyachol with God's right hand.
Mhm.
Obviously, this is all how do you say it? Anthropomorphism.
Right.
Okay. What I want to point out over here, by the way, I don't know how they understood it in previous generations, but it really was like a virtual. The Torah was written when it says Eish Dos, it was like written virtually.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was like on fire. Okay, that means it didn't actually physically exist, but it existed. The Torah existed in a virtual form.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Tova, another explanation.
Okay, so let's see. Davar acher, right? Another explanation. Eishtat kitagamo. So a fire of law, as is in the Targum, I guess. He says, "Shenit na lahem mitoch ha'esh." It was given to them from within the fire.
Okay. Okay.
So, one quick question. I think back in Shemot, when we read about the Aseret HaDibrot, but doesn't it say like there were dark clouds and light or lightning when the commandments were given? So maybe this is
It was referring to that, you mean?
Yeah, with the fire.
So I understood. I understood that Rashi says, since it's referring to Eish Dos, what's going to do with the law? All the things that the fact that on House Sinai, there was this tremendous, how do you call it, manifestation, show of fire and lightning and a frightening, how do you call it, frightening manifestation of a Kodesh Baruch Hu. There's something, like something is out of this world is about to happen. Okay,
right.
That's all around the actually. Here's mashma that the law itself, Eish Dos, the law itself was made from fire. That's why Rashi says that's referring to that.
Okay.
By the way, let's say thing. I just want to make a interesting point over here. Rashi says, which is actually from the Midrash, right, that before Kodesh Baruch Hu offered it to the Jewish people, right, he offered it to Esav, and he offered it to Yishmael, to Esav and to Yishmael. Okay, but neither of them wanted it. So once I had a question, and of course it's a very valid question. And what of it would have been if they had wanted it?
Actually, it's a good question. Would they even be able to observe it all?
Okay. So the answer I had was that in itself, what was the Medrash says, what happened? He offered it to the Bnei Esav, and the Bnei Esav said, well, what's written there? What are we, we don't think we're taking a blank check, okay?
Right.
Okay, we want to know what's written there in the Torah. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu answer them? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you mustn't murder. Right? You're not allowed to use physical weaponry, right? To further your to gain what your desired means, to desired effect, to desired result. You can't use means of weaponry to do so. Okay,
Mhm.
you're not allowed to kill somebody. So came along Esau and says, that's not for us, because our motto is Al Charba Chotichye. You should live by the sword. Might is right. Right? If you think about it, I mean, I always think to myself, let's take nuclear warfare. I mean, I'm not one to stick up for Iran, but what gives America more right to have nuclear weapons than Iran? I'm very happy that America and Israel obviously are fighting tooth and nail to stop Iran having nuclear weapons. That's no question about it. But what gives America more of the right to have nuclear weapons than Iran? And I'll tell you an interesting point. The one time in history that nuclear weapons were used, right, was by the United States of America.
Right.
And how many people did they kill in each time?
A lot.
At least 100,000 each one, at least. Right?
Right.
But that was for the sake of justice. Who told you? I mean, they say, we were allowed to kill 100,000 people each time in Japan. That was okay, because that was for the sake of peace, whatever you want to call it. It's for the sake of the American victory. I mean, I'm very happy that they did it, because I'm not happy that they did it in such a way, but I'm happy that because Japan was definitely, they were allied with the Germans. But the truth is, after the Germans were gone, I don't know how much danger to world peace Japan actually presented. It doesn't matter, make a difference. But the Maisa, America decided in order to finish off the war, this is what they're going to do. And this is the only time in history that nuclear weapons have been used in such a deadly way. So again, who gives them this? But anyway, upon him, let's go back to our thing. He said, so Asaph said, well, we can't accept the Torah, because the Torah says you mustn't kill. And if we feel it right to kill, then we will kill, because that's our motto. We live by the sword. By the way, the Mefarshim asked, well, why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give them an example of not killing? Well, he says, you mustn't murder, you mustn't kill. Right? Why didn't he say, well, keep Shabbos? And Esau said, fine, okay, we'll keep Shabbos, no problem. So, using the terminology, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will play the dirty one on them, right?
Yeah.
He chose Dafka the one he said, which one of the mitzvahs he knew there was a sensitive issue with them. So he said, okay, you can't, you mustn't kill. He should have chosen a different mitzvah. The answer is, and this is really where the answer to our question is, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu presented any nation with the Torah, right, that nation has to accept the Torah in its entirety. Well, we say, well, we accept 99% and 1% we won't bother. We can't do such a thing. We have to accept it in its entirety. So therefore, HaKadosh Baruch Hu Dafka asked, told Esau, I'm going to say, included in the mitzvahs is the mitzvah not to kill. And I know that's a sensitive issue. Are you willing to accept it? So he said, no, we're not. And simply with the shmoel, right? He says, so what do you ask? Were you willing to accept it? He says, well, it's written there, you mustn't steal. They said, no, that's not our, right? We're experts in the steel trade, right? So that there again. But when it came to Klal Yisrael, and this was the punchline, that's what really HaKadosh Baruch Hu wanted to show the nations how Jewish people are different from the nations. The Jewish people didn't ask what's written there. In other words, they weren't out making any conditions. It wasn't a conditional acceptance. They said, Na'aseh v'nishma. Whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we agree to accept. Whatever you tell us, we agree to accept upon ourselves. And
Right.
I added a point over here, because the Chayra, just to accept blindly what HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells them doesn't necessarily show a tremendous, it's not necessarily such a positive response. I mean, if you ask somebody, you want to employ somebody, and you call them, an interview, and you say, by the way, I'm boss here, and whatever I say goes, and you've got to do it, whatever come what may. Okay?
Mhm.
So, and the guy says, yeah, whatever you say, I'm going to do. I don't know if I'd take that guy as employ such a guy, because either he's a liar, right? Because he's no disrespect. Because if he has, he's a bit of a pikeach, means he knows what he's doing. To say such a statement is one of two things: either he's a simpleton and he doesn't have any seichel, or if he has seichel, he's a pashut liar. He's not. When he says he's going to accept everything, it's not true. So
Mhm.
therefore, anyway, but the point is that when Klal Yisrael accepted it, it was an acceptance with the knowledge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like our Father.
Ah,
And the reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving us the mitzvahs is for our own good, not
mhm.
just because it's Hashem's will. It's
Right.
Hashem is giving us the mitzvahs for our sake, for our good, for our good. Mamela, that's why they accepted the Torah. That's what, yeah. So that was the unique. So in other words, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu offered it to Esav and to Ishmael, it was indeed a loaded question. It was a loaded offer because HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew that they wouldn't accept it.
Right.
Nevertheless, to illustrate, to show the goyim, to say that you can't come along and say, well, we were never offered it. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu did offer it to them. But it was and it was a genuine offer. But HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew in the way the behavior and the character of the goyim that they weren't going to accept such a thing.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll stop here. And Be'ez
Yep.
Hashem,
Very
carry on.
good.
Okay, have a
Okay.
great day.
You
Be
too
well.
now, Rabbi. Be well.
Bye, Lou.
Hi, sorry, I had an emergency.
Okay, anyway,
Got
you
everything
just
okay.
okay, you missed a beautiful thing, but you can listen on the recording.
Right, okay, gotcha. Have a great
Bye. Be well.
Bye now.